All right, so today we are going deep, deep into cybersecurity news.
Yeah, we've got a whole stack of articles here.
Like from where?
Well, we've got InfoWorld, CSO Online, Security Affairs,
Okay.
the Hacker News. We've really got
The whole gamut.
the whole shebang.
It's like our security news roundup
It is.
without the scary music.
Yeah, more like a guided tour through a minefield,
Ooh, I like that.
trying to point out all the tripwires
Yeah,
that you might miss.
Exactly. And speaking of tripwires, there's this article in InfoWorld that really caught my eye. It was all about how even Microsoft is struggling to secure AI.
Yeah, it's Secure AI. Dream on, says AI Red Team.
Right.
And it seems like even those tech giants, you know,
Yeah.
they're not immune to these challenges in this field.
So Microsoft has this team called the AI Red Team, right?
Right.
And they've been testing over 100 AI products.
That's right.
And they're basically saying that securing AI is a continuous process.
It is. It's an uphill battle.
It's not a one-time fix.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if Microsoft, the big tech giant,
Right.
is having this much trouble, I mean, what hope is there for the rest of us?
Right. And I think the article highlights a really, really important point, which is that the real world,
Yeah.
it's messy, it's unpredictable.
Right.
AI models, they can be trained on mountains and mountains of data,
Sure.
but they can't possibly anticipate every single scenario.
It's like trying to program a self-driving car to handle a flock of pigeons.
Exactly.
Suddenly flying in front of it.
Exactly.
That's a curveball.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things that makes AI security so concerning for everybody, not just,
For all of us.
for the big tech companies.
Right. As AI becomes more integrated into our lives,
Yeah,
these security gaps could have huge consequences.
absolutely.
So, okay, AI security, something to definitely keep an eye on. But let's shift gears a little bit and talk about some international intrigue.
Ooh.
What's the latest in the whole cyber conflict between the U.S. and China?
Well, CSO Online reported that the U.S. has sanctioned
Okay.
some Chinese entities linked to the Salt Typhoon hacking group.
Wait, remind me who Salt Typhoon is again.
They're a sophisticated hacking group believed to be operating out of China,
Okay.
and they've been targeting American telecom companies and even some government systems.
So are sanctions, is that going to be enough to deter them?
Well, that's where the experts are divided.
Okay.
Some think that it's purely symbolic.
Like a slap on the wrist.
Yeah, more of a slap on the wrist than
Yeah.
any kind of knockout punch.
And others think that, any pushback helps.
Yeah, any friction
Yeah.
in this cyber espionage battle.
It's like a chess game
It is.
playing out in the digital world.
With incredibly high stakes.
Yeah. I mean, given, all the information and critical infrastructure at risk,
Yeah.
it makes you wonder if this is just, the tip of the iceberg.
Right, and that's a question
The cyber warfare.
for intelligence agencies, probably, but it just highlights the increasing importance
Right.
of cybersecurity on that global scale.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so from AI vulnerabilities to these international cyber conflicts, we're getting a real sense of how broad the spectrum of threats is out there.
It's fast.
But let's zoom in on something a little bit closer to home.
Okay.
Let's talk about WordPress.
Yeah, the platform that powers, like 40% of the internet?
I think something like that. But you know what they say, with great power comes great responsibility.
Absolutely.
And also security vulnerabilities. Because Security Affairs has been reporting about this kind of concerning trend of vulnerabilities in these popular WordPress plugins.
Right, especially they reported about one in the W3 Total Cache plugin,
Yeah.
which is used by a ton of people, and it could expose, hundreds of thousands of websites.
To attack? Okay, well, what exactly can attackers do if they exploit this vulnerability?
So it gives them access to sensitive metadata.
Okay, now break that down for me a little bit.
So think of metadata as like the blueprint of your website.
Okay.
It has all sorts of information about your website's structure,
Yeah.
the content, user data.
And in the wrong hands, that could be really bad.
Oh, it's a gold mine for hackers.
Yeah, and it's not just limited to the website itself, right?
Yeah.
It could impact cloud-based applications as well.
Right, because it highlights how a seemingly small vulnerability can have much wider consequences,
Yeah.
potentially impacting the whole ecosystem.
So I'm starting to get a little paranoid here.
I can understand why.
If even a popular plugin like this one can have these vulnerabilities.
Yeah.
What's a WordPress user to do?
Keep your plugins updated.
That's it.
Seriously.
Just keep them updated.
It's the most important thing you can do to protect your website.
Okay, consider this your PSA.
It is.
For all our WordPress users out there,
Patch those plugins,
don't become a statistic.
please.
All right, speaking of things that make you paranoid, let's talk about the news that finally broke this week.
Oh.
The TikTok ban.
The saga continues.
After months of speculation and debate, the Hacker News is reporting that the U.S. has officially banned TikTok.
Yes, they have, citing those data privacy and national security concerns.
Yeah, it's really complex.
It is.
It touches on free speech, the role of government, and regulating technology.
Right, and it's got everyone talking.
It does.
Some are applauding it, some are criticizing it
Yeah.
as an overreach of government power.
As we all grapple with this question of how to balance security and privacy in the social media age.
Yeah, absolutely. And this kind of brings us back to something we were talking about earlier.
AI.
AI, yeah,
Yeah.
because AI is being used on both sides of this.
Yeah, Cyber Defense Magazine and others have been reporting on this.
It's being used to create more sophisticated attacks.
Right, like those AI-powered phishing campaigns.
Exactly. But it's also being used to develop more advanced defenses.
Right, like cyber deception tactics.
Classic arms race.
Yeah, both sides trying to outsmart the other. And this brings us to a question for you, our listeners.
Yes.
How comfortable are you with sharing your data online?
Because as technology evolves,
Yeah.
these lines between security and privacy
They're getting really blurry.
increasingly blurry.
Sometimes they just disappear altogether.
That brings us to our next topic.
All right, I'm all ears.
Let's talk about...
What else is brewing in the cyber world?
I know there's...
This silly. Well, let's see. HelpNet Security reported that a ton of configuration files for Fortinet firewalls.
What?
Yeah.
Fortinet, those are popular, right?
Yeah, they're pretty widely used.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like over 15,000 of these files were leaked online.
15,000, whoa.
Yeah,
That's not just a leak, that's a flood.
it's a big one.
What happened? Did someone just like accidentally upload them to a public server or something?
I don't know. The details are still pretty murky,
Okay.
but the impact is definitely clear.
These configuration files, they contain a ton of sensitive information about a network security setup.
Oh, so a hacker could use this information to just like
Basically bypass the firewall.
bypass the firewall's defenses.
Totally.
It's like a skeleton key.
It is. It's like having a state-of-the-art security system.
Yeah.
You leave the front door wide open.
Ouch.
Yeah.
So it's really a reminder that even the best security tech is only as strong as its weakest link.
Right. And a lot of the times that weak link is us.
Humans.
Human error, yeah.
Yeah.
So this incident really emphasizes the importance of security best practices, like making sure to review configurations,
Right.
update them regularly, implement strong access controls,
Okay.
and of course have a really solid incident response plan.
So it's not just about the tech itself.
It's not.
It's about the people, the processes.
It's the whole picture.
Cybersecurity is multifaceted.
It is.
Okay, so we've got AI vulnerabilities, we've got nation-state hacking,
Uh-huh.
we've got vulnerable plugins, we've got human error. I mean, is there any corner of the digital world that's actually safe these days?
Well, that's the thing about cybersecurity. It's an arms race.
Constant.
Yeah, as soon as you patch one vulnerability,
Another one pops up.
another one pops up. Yeah.
Like that game Whack-A-Mole.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
But it's a game we can't afford to lose.
The stakes are so high.
They're higher than ever.
Everything's digital.
Yeah, our lives depend on these systems.
Banking, healthcare,
Communication, entertainment.
it's all connected.
It's all intertwined.
So I guess that means it's up to each of us to be aware of the threats and protect ourselves, right?
Right. You don't need to be a cybersecurity expert. But
Right.
you do need to be informed and
Okay.
proactive.
So let's get practical.
Yep.
What can our listeners do to boost their own cybersecurity besides updating those WordPress plugins?
Okay. Well, first and foremost,
Yeah.
be mindful of what you're sharing online.
Right.
The less information that's out there, the less there is for those hackers to exploit.
Okay, so no posting your social security number on Twitter.
Exactly.
Got it.
Use strong, unique passwords for every single account.
Okay.
And enable two-factor authentication whenever it's possible.
Two-factor, that's the one where they send you a code to your phone.
To your phone or your email.
Or your email, right?
Yeah, it just adds that extra layer of security,
Okay.
making it way harder for those hackers to get into your account,
Even if they have your password.
even if they steal your password.
Okay.
So yeah, strong passwords, two-factor.
Check.
What else? Be very careful about phishing emails
Yeah.
and suspicious links if it seems too good to be true.
It probably is.
It probably is.
Like you've won $1 million, click here.
Exactly.
Right.
And then always, always, always
Keep your software updated.
keep your software updated, because those updates,
They have those security patches.
exactly, they're fixing those vulnerabilities.
Right. Nobody wants to be the low-hanging fruit.
Nobody.
All right, so be cautious online, update your software, and be careful what you click on.
That's it.
Is there anything else?
Oh, one more thing.
Right.
Back up your important data.
Backups.
Yeah.
Always a good idea.
Always.
Whether it's hackers or a spilled cup of coffee.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Having a recent backup can be a lifesaver
Yeah.
if your computer is ever compromised.
So we've talked about a lot today.
Yeah.
AI security, individual responsibility,
The whole landscape.
the whole cybersecurity landscape. Do you have any final thoughts before we wrap up?
I think the main takeaway is that cybersecurity can seem really daunting,
It can.
but it's not something to be afraid of. It's
Okay.
about being informed
Inform
and taking
and
precautions.
staying curious.
Exactly. The more you understand,
Right.
the better you'll be able to navigate this world.
So stay curious, stay informed, and stay secure.
Well said.
And this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Oh, yeah.
There's tons more information out there.
For those who want to go deeper,
And if you do, check out the show notes.
we've got some great resources there.
Yeah. So until next time, everyone, stay safe out there.
Stay safe.
It's really amazing, like prepping for this, just seeing how diverse these threats are.
Yeah, it's like a whole ecosystem, isn't it?
It is. It's crazy.
You've got like the nation states with their espionage.
Yeah.
You got the ransomware gangs just out for a quick buck.
Wow.
And then those like lone wolf hackers who are like, who knows what their deal
The
is?
mystery.
Yeah.
So it makes you wonder, like, what's next?
Right. What's coming down the pipeline?
What should we be preparing for?
If I had to pick one thing,
Yeah.
I would say it's this blurring of the lines between AI and cybercrime.
We've already talked about how AI can be used to make these attacks more sophisticated
Right. And it's going to get even more powerful.
and more accessible.
Yeah.
Oh, so more people will have access to these tools.
And not all of them are going to be good guys.
Right. Because we're already seeing AI being used for bad stuff.
Yeah, you look at those AI-generated phishing emails.
Right. They're so realistic now.
You can barely even tell.
You can't even tell.
Yeah, it's scary.
So it's not just about the technology, it's about who's using it.
And for what purpose?
That's a little unsettling.
Yeah, it emphasizes the need for a multi-layered approach to security, you know?
Right. We can't just rely on the old firewalls and antivirus software.
Those days are over.
It's got to be a combination of technology, awareness, and proactivity.
Education, everything.
Yeah. I mean, cybersecurity is a shared responsibility, right?
Absolutely.
It's not just up to the government or the tech companies to keep us safe.
We all have a part to play.
It's up to all of us to be vigilant
Yeah,
and do our part.
exactly.
So that brings us back to informed action. Staying curious, staying informed.
Right, taking those precautions.
We've covered a lot of ground here today.
We have from AI security to international cyber conflicts.
Vulnerable plugins, human error.
It's a wild world out there.
It is.
But that's what makes it so interesting, right?
It does.
Yeah,
All right. Well, on that note, I think it's time for us to wrap up this deep dive.
I agree.
But just remember, this is just a starting point.
Oh, yeah, we've only scratched the surface.
If you want to go deeper, we've got a whole bunch of resources for you
Check out the show notes.
in the show notes. So until next time, stay curious, stay informed,
And stay safe.
stay safe out there.